All right. Vigilante Wednesday here on the 72nd episode of the Culture Crime Fighters. And I'm joined by my partner in Culture Crime Fighting, the man, the myth, the legend himself, none other than Matt from Foulball Productions. How you doing, man?
I am terrific, Mr. Vigilante Williamson. I'm very glad to be here. Yeah. Fresh off my flight from Vegas. I've been home for about 24 hours. I need to...
Oh, sneezing some of that Vegas up, I see.
Yeah, some of that that was hooker spit is what that was.
There you go. We'll talk a little bit more about hoes later on in the broadcast.
Yes, we will. As we often do.
We do. We love the hoes, though. Don't, never.
I like to call them beautiful women.
Yeah. Right after you sneeze, now I have to sneeze. Isn't that
wow, that's wild. I know sneezing is contagious, but not across, 400 miles.
Yeah. We're both in Texas, so it's not that far. But
yeah,
still,
I guess it's not that far. We're on the same longitude.
Yeah, here we are.
The electrical impulses.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. But yes, I did just get back from Vegas, and it was a hootenanny.
Yeah.
A full-on hootenanny. Yeah, and you know what? I was looking at my finances, not as bad as I was expecting. Certainly a little lighter than... Whoopsie daisy.
I'm messing around with the lighting because I'm an idiot.
Often running, folks. Professional.
That's why I wanted to turn it down. Make it look more moody. There you go.
There you go. Yeah, mysterious.
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
You're like a living logo.
There we go.
There it is.
Yeah.
But yes, it was. Yeah, I was actually surprised. I didn't want to look at my credit card bills. I really, honestly, I was just don't look. And I looked and I was like, all right, that's okay. That's about what I expected. It was not, it's just, man, your credit card just flies out of your hand all day. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And it's like we were drinking. I mean, so I got there. I flew out Wednesday morning-ish. Flew out Wednesday at like midday. And I got there at like 3:34. Eric K picked me up at the airport. Happened to be walking right next to Brahma Bull, as a total coincidence. Yeah, Brahma brought the whole family too.
Oh wow, cool.
Yeah, brought the whole family, which was cool. That was cool. So basically, we all stayed at the Flamingo, which was super convenient, right? And then we I just put my stuff in the hotel, changed, and then we came downstairs and basically went right to the meetup. So there was,
okay.
Yeah, no time to settle in or whatever. I'd already kind of started drinking. I had a seltzer on my layover and then one on the plane. So I was like, all right, getting some action going. Yep. Had one in the lobby while I was waiting for all them to come down to take an Uber. And then we went right over to the event, which was already happening. I mean, wow. Yeah, when I showed up, Not Another Dime was at the bar. And he's a tall drink of water. Mm-hmm. And he had an open tab for everyone's first round.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, which was
crazy.
Fuck. Yeah. So that was sick. And then you also got a drink just for going. And then, boy, a bunch of people wanted to make sure I had a drink in my hand because...
Oh, man, yeah.
Every time I was going to stop and drink water and switch, someone, Newbomb Turk, he's like, here, you pussy, and gave me a big-ass, pint White Claw. I was like, oh, crap.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a rager, but I didn't get... I mean, I was definitely toasted. Don't get me wrong. Ryan Cannell was talking about how people were there late, at the place. I was certainly one of those people. But we had a great time, man. Got to meet everyone, as usual. But also this time, Primetime Alex Stein 99 was there, and I even got to sit and talk with him for about 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah, how was that?
Fucking sick, dude.
Yeah.
He was really dope, man. I told him a little bit about this show. I told him about what I do on YouTube. Pretty organically though. I wasn't pitching myself. I was just genuinely interested in that guy, and he just started asking me questions, and it was really cool. I was like, oh man, I feel like I'm a few more positive interactions. I feel like I could get him on this show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But it was sick. It was just so much good energy. Daniela was there.
Cool.
And she just like a duck to water, just fit right in with everybody, all the positive vibes.
Cool.
Yeah, it was pretty sick. side. It wasn't so like the Dallas meetup was honestly a little bit more hectic than this one. This one, there was more. There was more time to just chill with Gary.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like at Dallas, it was like that was impossible. That just was not going to happen. But I had like several different like just conversations with like Gary and Ryan and Quarter Black and whatever. Like it was all just hanging, man. It was pretty sick.
Cool. You were in the upper echelon. You were in the big boys league around this section of YouTube, and you got to hang with them. You hanging with the big boys, literally.
Buddy, I mean, if you go, it's an open invitation. Yeah, I mean, like that's the idea. I met Perry Chan.
Oh, really? Cool.
Met Perry Chan in the flesh.
Yeah.
Super cool guy. We hung out that time, and then we hung out another time, like later on, like another day. Bro, dude is like really humble and mellow, and you know, you could tell he's got a great head on his shoulders. Like you could tell he's just like a straight shooter, like hardworking, like humble guy. Like that was the vibe I got off of him. I was just like, oh, this dude puts in work. You know, he seemed like a good, just a straight up good dude.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's cool to see, man. That's cool, man. I'm glad you had a good time. Glad everybody was cool. Glad you got to meet a lot of people. Glad everything worked out, man. Dope.
It was a fucking blast. So that was like the first day, and then I went back to my hotel, and
this is the first day.
That was just the first day. I went back to my hotel and stupidly gambled, lost like a lot of money.
Oh no!
You know, like
Vegas trap, man.
Like a painful amount of money. I was like, damn, like. I thought I had blackjack a little bit more figured out than that, and just got like fleeced. Like I was like, all right, because I played at my hotel. I was like, maybe it's my hotel. So like I went over to the Cromwell, which is like right next door to the Flamingo. I lost $100 in like less than 10 minutes. I was like,
see, I already know I'm gonna get fucked up in Vegas. I'm not a big card guy. I used to be when I was younger, but right now it's just like I already know I'm gonna get trounced. So I hopefully if when I go, I'm gonna be as gamble happy.
Well, the only other night I really the only night that I gambled with anyone else was with this dude that's friends with Quarter Black. Yeah, he's a really cool dude. In fact, I was talking about him. He wants to start getting into game streaming. I was like, bro, you should maybe hop on with me and Imperius. You know, we do that shit. But that was the only other night. And we actually had a blast. And we turned $40 into $100.
Hey.
And then we turned $100 into nothing. But it was fun for a minute.
You gotta leave when you turn into 100. You just gotta get up and walk away. But no one.
Yeah. Oh no. But we were just that was just straight up fun. That was literally the last like hurrah for me because that was at around 12:31 in the morning on Friday, and I had to catch my flight the next morning pretty much. So like I had to leave the hotel by like 10:30. So I was like, this isn't gonna be a long night. Like I'll have this drink, play this $40 in this blackjack machine, and after that, like that's gonna be it. So I didn't really give a shit that we lost some money. I mean, obviously you always want the money, but it was more just the hang. It was fun because we had some hot streaks, we had some low time. It was cool, you know. It was a good time. Second night though, second day. Sorry, I gotta clear my throat. Hold on.
Let me clear my throat. Let me clear my throat. All right.
I liked that had music to it, like it was like a segment. That was nice.
Yeah.
That was good. So and the second night, I met up with Daniela during the day.
Okay.
We had a fucking ball, just walking around, just making jokes like for the whole afternoon. Went to the Venetian, which is like this, you know, kind of like it's sort of like off-brand Caesars, you know. Like everything's Italian themed. We went to this amazing pizza place called Brera Osteria. Ooh. Bro, like sourdough pizza, you know, like
sourdough pizza. I've never even heard of that.
It's like Neapolitan style. Like that's, you know, how most like Italian pizza is made.
Yeah, no, it's different, but I didn't know what it was made from.
Yeah, it's just labor intensive. I mean, it's just labor intensive, so most people don't even do it anymore. But in Italy they do it. Went there, and then that next night. If anyone listened to FNT and you heard Ryan Cannell talking about singing boy bands at karaoke, your boy Foulball was there as well. Yeah. And I sung my little heart out in that little Korean place. Yeah, I wasn't as on board with the boy band songs, but then when everyone's singing it, you kind of join in. But
I would realize just as the joke, like, damn, I know a lot of the lyrics to "I Want It That Way" that I didn't realize I wanted because in my head, the rest of the song started to play. Like, God damn, they really programmed that song to.
Yo, they programmed that song into your head because like the next few days I was like, get out of my head. Like it was like drilled in there. I was like, this is uncomfortable. But it was dope. And I did sing Master of Puppets. So,
Hey, there you go.
you know, I held it down. Yeah, I held it down. But that was a blast. We got some ramen. I went back to the hotel. Oh, yeah, here's a good story. All right. So not just like adulation. So we talked about it, I think, on the last show. I'm a bit of a dry spell right now when it's coming to the
Oh yeah.
who is. I
You
went.
didn't trick, did you? You didn't go to the one of the ranches, did you?
Oh, I thought you said maybe me selling my money. I was like, I got to get money somehow to play blackjack. No. So I went that night, and I was back to the hotel, and I was like, I'll play a few more hands of blackjack. You know, like once again, just fucking loser. Like nothing. Can't win shit. Can barely stay in the game. Let alone get ahead. I was like, I thought I figured this. I not figured it out, but I thought I had like an idea well enough to play this game. Nope. Getting fucking smoked. And so I go back, and I'm also trying to get a drink at the bar, or while you play, and like no waitresses coming by. I was like, this is bullshit. I was like, all right, I don't even care. I'd rather just pay for a drink now. I'm gonna go to the bar and grab one. And when I get there were two young, sexy. African American young women.
Oh,
and
Lord.
well,
Racist thing did you say this time?
why? Oh, I thought you said it's racist to bring up that they're black. I was like,
No, I said,
were
what racist
black.
thing did you say this time? I'm just joking.
No, nothing at all. I just started talking with them, and they were being sweet, and they were saying how they just got here, and so far it hasn't been all that great. And I'm like, I'm sorry to hear that, and like started talking, and then like it got more and more like intimate, and I was like, oh shit, this is maybe about to go down. And it was like late, you know, it was like 2, 3 in the morning. Like I was like, all right, you know, and then like I kind of was like, oh, I think I got this hooked up. You know, I think I'm gonna take this one back. And she's all flirty. Get back up to the room. Hooker.
Ah ha. That's how it goes out there. I heard about that. Damn.
She was a fucking amateur though. I was telling I was telling somebody the other day.
Damn.
But she was an amateur though because what you got to do is you got to negotiate price. You got to get me on the hook before I bring you up. Cuz she didn't, and then when she wanted money I was like, yeah, I'm not paying you. Like you could go. Like we didn't fuck or anything. I was just like, I'm not here to like, you know what I mean? Like that you're just on the wrong, you know, I think she thought that once she got me up there, like I would just like, no. A pro knows, like you don't waste your time. You have to kind of like, you know, well, it's $300 for the room and we'll negotiate prices when we get up there. You know what I mean? Like she didn't know what she was doing. So she got me up there and she's like, oh, massage is my specialty. I was like, what? She's like, yeah, I'm not a very sexual person. I was just like, you're not a sexual person. She's like, well, I am. I just, you know, I was just like, all right, here we go. And so I was just like, nah, I mean, just not into paying for it like that, you know?
Yeah.
And so she's like, all right, and then left, and I was just like, ah.
I heard that happens in Vegas a lot. Like that the hooker.
The hustle.
Yeah.
The hooker hustle. Yeah, but the pros, like, they get you hooked downstairs, and then they make you not care that you have to pay for it. Like, you know, they get you all hot and, like, into it. But I was like, no, I'm not paying you.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know why I'm all of a sudden dude from fucking Police Academy with all the noises. So,
Michael Winslow?
yeah, Michael Winslow. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. So your old boy rubbed one out and went to bed.
Oh, man. That's what else the fuck are you going to do then?
Yes. Yeah. And then the last night was Friday, and bro, I woke up with such a wicked hangover.
Yeah.
On Saturday or Friday, yeah, because I mean, it had been 2 days of like hard drinking, and like when I hung out with Daniela, like I wasn't planning on it, but we ended up spending so much time together. I was just like, all right, I guess I'm drinking. I had a first drink before I had breakfast, like before I had, I think I had coffee. Yeah. And then had a margarita like an hour later, and I was just that was I don't know, 1, 2 in the afternoon.
Were you mixing in any water or just fuck it?
It's possible that I did, but I
Yeah,
don't
so not
remember
really,
doing
yeah.
it. No, I don't remember doing it. Not much, anyway. And then we went to, and then I just from that moment till after the hooker story, I was drinking the entire time. So that's
Yeah.
over 12 hours.
So
of
you were
heavy
drunk
drinking.
during the hooker experience.
Oh yeah,
It's totally lit. Oh man.
yeah.
So she really probably thought she had you. Like, you drunk, ready to go. White, but listen to hip hop. So she was like, "Yep, got it."
But and she wasn't like smoking or anything like that. Like she was like she was mad hood, dude. She had like a proud to be ghetto neck tattoo.
Oh man. Oh man. Well, hey.
Yeah. I was
Put
just
it
like,
on.
Jesus Christ. I saw that while I was thinking of the pro. I was like, Jesus. God damn. And her friend was this girl's face was prettier, but her friend had a better body. Her friend's body was tight and put together. But I think they thought they were going to make it big, like as hookers in Vegas. Like they're just gonna go, rip off stupid guys. I'm like, yeah, it ain't me, sugar. You can take on off. I'm not gonna pay your mediocre looking ass to fuck.
What if she was hotter?
She would have had to really seduce me. She would have had to make it work. You know what I mean? And if that was the case, it would have been too expensive for me anyway. You know what I mean? Like,
I see.
yeah, she would have had to like convince me that the only barrier between this is just the money, that she just needs to make. You know what I mean? She would have had to really get in my head.
Yeah.
Like a good stripper.
Yeah, I see. So you could have been worked. You just didn't.
Oh,
do the
of
work.
course I could have been worked. I've
Yeah.
been worked my whole life.
I guess, yeah.
You think I've had the
Well,
upper hand on hoes? No, man. I'm always surprised when this one's a liar. I'm like, oh, this one too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, oh, I just thought that would had. I thought it was the last 100. I didn't think it was also you.
Yeah.
I haven't learned shit.
That's his own can of worms. I think we talked enough about relationships last episode, so we'll keep moving. But man, hey, it sounds like again, you had the full fucking Vegas experience. It sounds like
I did, man.
lost
I did.
money, got drunk, got almost ripped off by a hooker. I mean, just mad Vegas.
I went
Took it all
Vegas
in.
hard, and when I did wake up the next day with that vicious hangover, like I was, and like that hangover when you're like, you feel vulnerable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you feel
Yeah.
like kind of defeated. That's how I felt. And I was like, oh man, maybe I shouldn't even have stayed for this third day. I was just like, and then I went downstairs. And that was the other thing too, is like when you wake up for your morning coffee and then you go down to like the equivalent of like Times Square, like it's a lot. Like, you know what I mean? Like you haven't even like wiped the crust out of your eyes and there's just like 700 people around you and just hot chicks in bikinis and like families from Ohio. It's just like, woof. This is a whole thing right now. Like I just want to get some coffee.
Yeah.
And so like I was like, I don't want to do that, but I was like, just nut the fuck up, go downstairs and do it. And it was uncomfortable, but still I did it. And I came back and I'm like, I'm in Vegas. I'm on vacation. I cannot just lay in bed for the last day here. No.
Yeah.
Get up. So
Stop being a pussy.
I did. So you know what I did? I went and I worked out.
There you go.
I went to the gym and I was like, I'm going to beat this hangover's ass. And I did. And it like, the working out got rid of it. And so I, went back and I was like, now I'm all jacked up. I'm like, who's out? Who's going for dinner or whatever? And Brahma Bull and what's it? Toxic Man Flu and everybody. They were having dinner at this place around the corner called Batista's. And that was like in 2 hours, and I was like, I'm really hungry now. I just finished working out. I gotta eat. So I went back to the great pizza place, had half a pizza, and then went back to dinner with those guys. And that was a great dinner, dude. That was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Real quick. Is that a thing you can work out a hangover? Like you can sweat off a hangover? I never knew that.
Breaks it right away. I mean, it's hard to go do it because you feel like absolute shit. But like, once you start sweating and your blood starts flowing and you like, I don't know, the toxins get out of your body. Yeah, it's 100% a thing. It's the best way to do it.
Anytime I work out after I drink, it's like the shittiest workout ever.
Oh yeah, it's not. I'm not killing it, but I'm doing all the things. It's like pumping all the blood starts flowing again. Like then you start drinking a lot of water, which is like a lot to do with a hangover. Like you're replacing
hydrated,
fluids. Yeah.
toxins out. Okay, that makes sense. It does make sense when you kind of talk it out. I just never heard of it. So thank you for adding that to the tool belt. The shit that I may need.
It's life hack for sure. It's
Yeah.
just the getting there is a bitch, and you might puke if it's like real close to the hangover.
Which I guess is to be expected, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I got to hang out with Gary and them one more time after FNT, which was kind of cool
Cool.
because they had just done the show. So then I was hanging out with everyone from the crew like right after, and that guy, the dude who was on, whatever their guest was, I forgot. Ryan Garcia, is that his name?
I do not know. I would have to check.
Well, whatever. Anyway, I met that guy too, but I think he seemed a little tapped out by the time I got there. Like he was like, I was walking to talk with him, but he was just not really engaging much. And I was just like, oh, all right. And then as soon as we got to where we were going, he left. So I think he was just kind of spent.
Yeah.
But then I did get to hang out with all of them again. So it was,
Cool.
dude, it was everything I could have wanted. The trip was perfect.
Cool. Any insight, things you, well, at least stuff that on there, because you told me some stuff, but like any insights or anything that you want to add just from talking to the guys or talking to anyone there? Stuff that
What was fucking cool,
Jules? Man? Yeah.
I met Classy Vigilante out there.
Yeah.
That was cool as shit because like he knew me, right? He from this show, he recognized me. Cool. And it was really cool. And then I sat and like talked with him a little bit about him doing his own thing, and like he's got like the video editing software or whatever. That was probably like one of the coolest moments of the whole trip, was being able to kind of like, and like his parents were there.
Yeah, because they were like 13 to 15. Can't be.
Yeah, I think he was 17.
Oh, 17. It shows how.
Yeah, but like they can't have they couldn't have any kids inside of the place, so
yeah.
He had to just kind of stand outside, which sucked.
Aww.
It sucked because I don't think they made that clear, but it is a bar, so you can't have anyone under 21.
Yeah.
So they had to work that out. But that was a really cool moment because I felt like someone in his eyes, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like I felt like, you know what I mean? Like I'm like a streamer. He was happy to meet me.
Yeah, because you're a streamer. You're a great, talented YouTuber that he watches and enjoys. And I'm always like engaged because of our names, Vigilante, Williamson, Classic Vigilante. I always call him like cousin or some shit. There's another Vigilante that was around. I had no idea he was that young.
No, but that was dope. Like that was dope getting to kind of like be like someone like, I don't know if he looked up to me, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
well, I mean, don't go too far, bro.
But but it was like that. That was the vibe. I was like able to kind of like, encourage him, and he was listening to me. I was like, this is kind of cool.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, talking to Primetime Alistine 99 was tight. Mm-hmm. Like I was asking him about like where he gets like the balls to do it, and I kind of got inside his process a little bit about like all that when we watching it and we're so uncomfortable, right? Like I get uncomfortable watching those videos. I don't know if you do.
Yeah.
But when he when he does the town halls, I'm cringing. I'm just like, it's funny, but I'm so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, how do you go there and do that? And he's telling me that, like, to him, that's like getting laughs, like at a comedy club. Like, the more uncomfortable they are, the more he enjoys it. And he just kind of like doubles down and gets inside. And I was like, it was cool as shit to get inside like his head as to what like motivates that psychopath to go do the things that he does,
Yeah. Almost sounds kind of like Eric Andre. I don't know if you're familiar with him.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, or like Tom Green or any of those guys who
same sort of thing.
Yeah. That always makes me, I don't know.
Hard to watch a lot of it. Yeah. Because you have a natural, I don't know, empathic experience where you just feel the same. You can feel the awkwardness in the room and just like, I don't want to feel that awkwardness.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. But so that was tight. I mean, the one thing is that the more, like, now this is my third, I guess technically my fourth meetup, even though the first one doesn't really count because like it was just us hanging. Like,
but you still met a lot of people. You met Nick, you met Jake, you met a lot of people in person. You had
Man of War.
Man of War. Yeah, Eric K.
Yeah, that's true. So now it's just like I go in there and I'm seeing friends. You know what I mean? Like the comfort level is through the roof. Like last year was great, and I was a little bit more comfortable because I knew some people. But still, like, there's like an awkwardness. And that was the first time I met Gary in person, so that was like a big deal. I was I was just anxious, you know what I mean? Just like, holy shit, hey, good to meet you formally,
Bro, it's funny you mentioned that. When I met him at Anime Mastery, that was crazy because I was just walking. He gave me a hug, and I was like, "Oh shit, man!" Wasn't expecting that, but it was like really cool for him to like. Almost the opposite of what you said with Classic Vigilante. Like, this is somebody I look up to who's like embracing me like a friend, and I'm like, that's crazy.
Isn't that it's
yeah?
That's the thing. Like, my self-esteem is so low. Like, it's hard for me to like believe that they like look at me as a friend. But like, it's how it feels.
Yeah, it's a credit to a lot of them, and I'm not just throwing smoke off Gary's ass, but like it's a credit to the way Gary operates in his kind of balance, even kill, like, you know what I mean? Just the fact that he even did member streams in the first place, when even, you know, when he still had hundreds of thousands of subs when we came across him, and we're doing member streams with him. You know what I mean? We kind of started this.
Yeah.
So
I think
like,
I found Gary when he was like at $1.75 or $1.80 or something like that.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
He was already very successful.
Yeah. And to even be there and like, oh, I'm going to talk to the people who sub to me. That kind of like, I don't know what the right word is for it. Maybe humility. That's like infectious. And I think that's why it feels so, it's why everybody enjoys it. You know what I mean?
It's also really inspiring too. Like, it inspires you to like achieve that, but with that mentality, you know what I mean? It definitely is something to genuinely look up to.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's a role model.
Yeah.
Like a true role model. Like, it's like to model yourself after. Like, it's cool as shit. And that was the thing too. Like, the first few times I met people from the internet, I've said this several times, how weird it was, but it's getting to be not weird anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? Similar. Cause I've met you, I met 24. I've met a bunch, I met all FNT technically, met comics, obviously. Now I'm starting to meet my share of people just being here in Texas. I haven't even gone to one of the meetups. I guess Matsuri was kind of one.
Yeah, sort of one.
Yeah. So it's like now I'm starting to meet a lot of people, and it's still kind of a surreal experience. But
it's the thing.
It gets more normal. Yeah. Like,
it gets more normal. Like, I met Islington Girl.
Yeah.
That wasn't weird at all. Like, that wasn't even kind of weird. That was just like, hey, like, it was as if we already knew each other, because we kind of already do. And so now the physical barrier is becoming less of an obstacle to the awkwardness. So like, it wasn't even there this time, which was like great. You know, it's like, because that's the thing with Gary, it isn't weird when he meets people. Like, you can tell that, and it's probably because he's used to this thing. You know, it's like, I'm new to it. You know, so. Yeah, but that was something else. That was another cool takeaway. It's becoming way more normal, and now it's like, you know, these people are like friends. You know, it's like it's not just someone I kind of know from the chats. It's like, oh, it's my friend Redshirt. You know, it's like, hey, what's going on?
Yeah,
and and like it's so much positive energy. Like I can't describe it any other way. Like Daniela was just like you didn't stop smiling the whole night. You know, it's just like. You're like surrounded by positive vibes. Like, it's just, there's nothing to be afraid of. There's nothing to like doubt. There's no social anxiety. Like, it's all just good energy. It's the best ever.
Hey, man. I haven't, like I said, didn't go to meetup. My Matsuri felt similar. Honestly, all cons have, or the other con I went to, because I actually want to start doing that. I'm thinking about doing that for the channel, going to cons. But yeah, man. There's positive stuff, as much as racist, homophobic, and sexist as everyone is. A lot of cool people in the fandom. A lot of cool people.
A lot of racism, though. I'll say that, honestly.
Yeah, a ton. I can imagine.
And we were all just like, right, those people.
Yeah.
No, it's not like that.
Zig howling and shit.
Ryan Cannell was going off about all the Asian shit at the karaoke bar, but I think he was mostly doing that for effect, which was pretty funny. But yeah, no, I did learn also Ryan Cannell's first album ever was In Sync.
Wow.
Which I thought was a pretty funny revelation.
It makes sense once you say it. It's like, oh, you know what? I can see that. I can absolutely see that.
I remember growing up, my buddy's little brother liked In Sync. Oh, we were merciless.
Bro,
we used to hammer that kid for that.
I got shit for like in Blink 182 because they, one, I'm black in Detroit.
Okay.
Two, they're too close to NSYNC and the Backstreet Boys. Like, what is this? The Backstreet Boys? You listen to the back. It says Blink 182. Like, no, you listen to the Backstreet Boys.
That's funny. I got shit for liking Blink-182 because they were pop punk. They weren't real.
Yeah, yeah. There was the pop punk era for the like teens and tweens. It was perfect
Yeah.
for that era.
And I guess if you like grew up on hardcore punk, you would listen to that shit and be like, ugh. But I love it. I still like Blink-182. Small things. Oh, I don't think we sang. Oh no, we did sing Blink-182. I think that was Comics Division's idea. We sang a lot. It was fun. I actually was surprised how much I enjoyed singing karaoke. That was a great time. It was cool. It was cool. Belting out tunes and like it was more like we were all singing it together instead of just like one person on the mic.
Yeah.
Because that's a little awkward.
Yeah, it's kind of stereotypical. It's like you did everything in Vegas you're supposed to. You did karaoke.
Almost got a hooker.
Almost got hooker. Gambled away money.
Yeah.
Got so hungover you went existential crisis.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was Vegas as fuck.
Vegas as fuck. I mean, I stayed at the Flamingo, which is like dead center on the strip. It's across the street from Caesars. Like when you get down in the lobby, it's like the Link Hotel and like that big, iconic Ferris wheel thing. Like it's all right there. Like it's the heart of Vegas. So like Vegas is like in your blood when you're there. Yeah. But I guess a few people were staying till like I think even tomorrow. Or I guess when this will air, like today, like a bunch of people were like staying through the weekend and leaving on Monday. Which I'm glad I did not do.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. If I did go, I would have been as nice as everyone sounded. I would have been more interested in the Vegas experience. No hookers though, because I ain't paying for no ass. And see, I'm fat enough that if I see a hot girl, I'm like, man, you want some money? I'm not delusional enough to think I can smash just off the strength of a conversation.
Well, there's a lot of girls there though that are from out of town who just want to bang. Like I did get a number of these like Midwestern chicks who were pretty cute, but then there was like really no way to work it into the trip. Like I wasn't gonna bring a couple of hoes to karaoke. You know what I mean? Like there was no way to. Hey guys, I know we're all friends. You know what I mean from a long time. Here are two girls you don't know who I'm trying to bang.
You don't know. I don't know.
I don't even know them.
I'm hoping their panties fall off.
Yeah, like that's. I don't think that's gonna work out.
Some people would have, man. Some people wouldn't have given a fuck. They'd have brought different hosts to different events throughout the whole fucking experience.
And look, if that's the case, I respect the hustle. I respect the work. You know, got to treat your best. But no, it was overall it was an absolutely amazing time. Like I said, I'd be paying for a little while, but it's worth it. It was totally worth it. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, one little side topic that kind of got brought up. What was your first album that you ever bought?
It's actually kind of a cool one. It was Sublime.
Sublime. Huh.
Yeah, it was because I remember I wasn't really like into music, and I started to kind of just start to form my own taste. I remember like one of the first songs I liked was Elvis, "Nothing But a Hound Dog," because it was on the Forrest Gump soundtrack, and my parents used to play that, and I remember liking like that song and probably like "Fortunate Son" from CCR. You know, and just kind of started to sort of form my own taste in music. And then that was like, I guess, 96 when that self-titled album came out. And what was the first song? That it was What I Got.
Okay, I remember the song.
I remember that song came out, and I really liked that song. And then like maybe like, I don't even know what the timeline was. Maybe like a few weeks or a month later, Santeria started coming out. Okay, and then when I realized that was the same band, I was like, okay, I'm getting that album. I remember like decisively making that decision, and that was the first album I ever bought.
Okay, it's not as embarrassing. Mine's not bad either. Well, I don't know. It depends what you think. Papa Roach Infest. Some people will say,
that's a little cringe, but it's not cringe for the time. It's like
it was of the time, like a motherfucker.
I was listening to some of that rap rock recently.
Yeah. It's not the best of either.
Keep rolling. Come on, keep rolling. Now I know y'all be loving this shit right here.
Poor Lip Bizkit. They always get so much shit.
Oh, they deserve it.
Linkin Park got it better because they went a little bit more experimental. They'll toss other shit in. But
I never I don't speak ill of the dead or anything, but I never knew what the one thing. No, right now, God will be dead.
That's a great song. In the end, it doesn't even matter. It's a good song, man. I'm sorry.
Does nothing for me.
I don't like Fort Minor. I don't know, man. I like Linkin Park. I like.
Hey, look,
I
like
White
him.
Shinoda.
I never the rap rock thing. Like, I think what's embarrassing though is when I started getting into rap. That's where I started.
Rap rock.
Yeah, like I used to have. Well, you know what it was because I didn't know anything about it. Like the first song, the first album that really ever got me into hip hop was Nelly Country Grammar.
Okay, that was a cool album.
Because I didn't have an ear for hip hop. Like I genuinely
Yeah.
like didn't hear what they were saying in between the hook. Like I couldn't make it out. I didn't know what the hell they were saying. And I remember,
see.
yes, pretty white, but
You said it, not me.
it's true. It's true. I just remember like the Country Grammar hook, down, down, baby, no street in the Range Rover, street sweeper, baby, cock ready to let it go, shimmy, shimmy, go, what? Like, I was like, I like that. That got me. And then I listened to the song more and more, and all of a sudden I started hearing the lyrics in between it. I was like, oh, they're actually saying something here. Like,
You thought it was basically mumble rap before mumble rap to you.
I didn't know. I did not
Yeah.
have the ear for it. It could have been Shakespeare for all I knew. I had no idea. And I was like, okay. So I started getting into that. I got into Exhibit.
Okay, I remember Exhibit. Yeah.
And then that was right around the time when the Fast and the Furious movie came out. And so I just listened to the Fast and the Furious soundtrack, and like Limp Bizkit's like Rollin' was on there, and I used to pump that.
Listen. I like Limp Bizkit. I like that. I was
Wow.
all into the rap rock, all the fuck in, from Kid Rock to fucking Limp Bizkit to Korn, which was a lot more rock. Linkin Park, like I said, Papa Roach. I was all the fuck in. That kind of got me into rock. The other way around, y'all.
That's funny.
So
Look at the cultures blending.
That's why that was kind of an important little experiment. That little era.
That's actually pretty cool that it worked both ways.
Yes, it certainly did. Because that's when I started to listen to Blink 182 and all these other they were pop bands. What the fuck was it? Third Eye Blind?
Yeah.
Shit like that.
You know what? I used to think Third Eye Blind was mad corny until very recently when I learned that song do 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 is all about doing meth.
Oh fuck! Really?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I don't pay attention to lyrics like that. That's crazy.
And the guy's admitted it freely. He's not hiding it. It's not like some conspiracy theory on the internet. Like the guy's like, yeah, like I wanted to make it this like really sunny pop song because that's what it feels like when you're high on meth. It just feels like everything's amazing and everything's great, and you're just like, and I was like, yo, that's subversive as fuck. I like
Right.
that.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's
Yeah.
punk, man. I was like, okay, I like that. So yeah, I respect Third Eye Blind for that.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So yeah, don't speak ill of the rap rock era. I think it gets too much blame. Oh, shitty. It was important. Now we live in a culture where it's very common.
POD.
POD. I remember them. Oof. They had a couple of cool songs, but when you look back, it's like.
I don't like. I can't listen to that except with a sense of irony now. Like that's why I was like listening to the, it's embarrassing to hear, like Fred Durst think he can rap. Like that's the. Like when he was just doing like I'll scream over shit sometimes, like okay, that's fine. Like even like Nookie isn't that bad, but like when
I
you
like
listen,
break stuff. Break stuff still holds up.
I think that was like cool, but it's like when he's talking about like he's doing like the very generic hip hop thing about you need to get better lyrics and shit. It's just like
you know what?
So uncomfortable.
The fucking song with Method Man had a really cool beat, and Method Man like destroyed the track. I actually like that song a lot.
How does that
Get
one
together
go?
now? Oh shit! I'm not good.
Do you even know the hook?
I don't remember.
I don't know if I remember.
It's one of those weird hooks where it's not really.
See, but also like. I'm also embarrassed for all the rappers collaborating with him too. You know what I mean? Like, because they were just riding like the hype train. It's like when they collab with like Miley Cyrus or something. You're like, oh Jesus, you know, like that doesn't age well.
Yeah. Well, gotta get this money.
I like the admission that you liked that stuff. I mean, I have some cringy music that I enjoy. Like this one's like really kind of just gay. I wish I could say I didn't, but I really like those first two Lady Gaga albums.
Really? So nah, man, I couldn't fuck with that.
I don't even remember how I got into it. Because I remember, like, I was at work one day, and this gay guy I worked with was something about Lady Gaga, and I was like, who the hell is Lady Gaga? Do you know now? And I was like, I not know who that person is. I've never heard of him.
Yeah.
You know, and then like I don't remember how it got in my head, but I just started to like it, and I kind of felt like I was, because I was also really heavy in the conspiracy theory stuff at the time,
Oh,
and
shit.
her music was like all up in the Vigilant Citizen about how, you know, manipulative was what it's all
and
about.
her videos, because she had all the crazy imagery and shit.
Yes, but still, for
Yeah.
whatever reason, I just fucking found myself like really enjoying
You
those
just name drop
songs.
Vigilant Citizen. Look at you. You were a little con Theo of your own, huh?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's how I know. We need to fucking cut the shit because it's just gonna make you crazy.
All right.
But yeah, no, that's pretty embarrassing.
Yeah, I don't really. So I mean, I guess my embarrassing music, outside of rap, right? Like I said, I was hard into it. But from at least from the 2010s, late 2000s, I got really into like indie rock and like singer songwriter rock. So a lot of groups aren't that big, but shit like Fleet Foxes and like what's the guy Bon Iver, and all these like weird indie douchebags with guitars. Basically, if you had an acoustic guitar and you had lyrics that didn't make sense, but the melodies were cool, I was rocking with it.
No, I can't say I ever got into stuff like that. My friend was really into Bob Dylan when we were at, like, you know, kind of like one of those guys who's
couldn't do
just
that
like,
shit.
he's like, he lived in New York City, you know, he's like a retro guy, you know, he's just, I don't listen to CDs, man. He just had a wall full of records, you know, and it was just like,
Yeah.
and you'd go over there. I mean, I swear to God, it was always just goddamn Bob Dylan. I'm just like, and I hate Bob Dylan. Like, you know, it's like Positively 4th Street, like that album, Blonde on Blonde, that's a really good album. Other than that, like he's just my man with
Really
the cat,
overrated
and
to
he
me.
went to the dumpster and he saw the man there, and the man said, "Whoa, it's an elephant." You're just like, what the fuck are you talking about, man? Like you were just making shit up, trying to be falsely poetic. I hate you. Shut up. Yeah, but like. Yeah, like any of that just kind of indie, like sincere rock, or just like, I want the whole room to go up in flames. Like I hate that
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
it just drives me crazy. I fucked with some of the like the hipster rock that was popular. Like I liked the Arcade Fire album.
Yeah, I like them too.
Yeah, that was
hipster
cool.
rock. What was another hipster rock group that I fucked with?
What was the other one? Imagine Dragons. Like when their
Yeah.
first song came out or whatever, I was like, I fuck with this. I like this.
They became kind of more just pop,
Yep.
rock, pop. What was the other one that had that? What was it? The Lumineers or shit? I just like that one song they had. It just, I mean,
Was that the one from the commercial?
I think it was on the commercial. Yeah,
Yeah.
it
That's how
just
they-
sounded so farm, Little House of the Prairie to me. I don't know what it was.
Which is the one where it's like Alexander? Is that what is that? Is that the one that got racist? Lady Antebellum or whatever? Is that
Oh shit! No, that's not that.
Oh no.
I do remember how that goes. Here comes my bad singer. It was like, what was it? I'm in love with you. You're in love with me. You're my sweet.
Oh yeah, no, that fucking sucks.
I love that song.
You did?
That song was that was my shit. That's what I mean. That was my shit. It just sounded like,
Oh, I'm so embarrassed to picture you like rocking out to that. Like,
bro, that was the shit, bro. If a 20-year-old at the time white girl liked it, I liked it too, man. That's how it was.
I see.
It was just
I
that
see the
age,
angle.
that age and that era. I was all into the hipster lifestyle, bro, in that era.
Really?
I had the glasses. I had
You had a monocle?
I didn't do the monocle, but I
Oh,
did the
okay.
little nerd. I had different sets of the nerd glasses with the clear lenses.
Oh
and
no. Sensitive vigilante. I hate it.
all into it, bro.
Oh, I don't like it. I don't like
Hardcore
it.
into the hipster.
Don't tell me this about my friend, please. Oh no.
That's I had to deal with you as a fucking table and the dress and the nails. Me like in
At least I got paid. At least I got
True.
paid for my dignity
Well, I
being
got
destroyed.
so I got paid too.
Fair enough. Fair enough. This is
Some
what
of
you
those
got to
bitches let me smash. So it all worked out.
You know what? And the hipster chicks were always pretty hot.
Yeah, they would be cute and then
Kind of quirky looking.
Yeah.
Wildly pretentious. I think I was too old once the hipster movement was in full swing.
I was the exact age for it.
Yeah, I was like in my mid 20s already, so I saw through it. Like I was just like, oh, this is all
Early 20s
pretense.
Still, it was getting into the mid, but it was like
Oh, do you have pictures from back then? I would like to see hipster Vig.
I don't know if I have.
With like a button down, like
flannels and shit.
Flannel shirt. Yeah, exactly. And some but like a hat that doesn't fit the outfit. But hey, whatever, I don't even care what I look like. I just put on things.
That was the wave.
Oh, damn, dude! If you hung on there a little bit longer, you'd have a man bun.
No, yeah, I couldn't do that. When that shit started to come, that's when I started to get out of it and started to. Honestly, when I got out of music, that went with it. I'm like, okay, I'm done with this hipster shit.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, look, there was a really embarrassing hip hop Matt time.
Oh yeah, you've mentioned it. Well, I mean, you mentioned
I used to adopt
Gangstar, so I'm like, okay, that's credible.
That was more mature though. That was like when I was a little in college and shit like that. Before in high school, there was a little Black Senti kind of Matt rolling around. Yeah, there was like using a lot of hip hop slang.
Man.
Thinking I was.
I'm just imagining the movie Kids of like you ever seen that movie?
Yeah, but at least they grew up in New York City. I grew up in the suburbs of New Jersey. I have like no ownership of that culture at all.
But that's still my imagination. So like they suburban
because they would pull it. They would pull it off. Like it's like Andrew Schultz kind of has that vibe. He's sort of like a white black kid, he sort of had like just the urban. You feel the city on him. That did not fit me, and it was something I just put on because I liked the music. It's really embarrassing. I used to play it like way too loud, what's it the Chronic, like the original.
I knew it was the original Chronic. What is it with white people in that album? What did it do to y'all DNA and y'all? It's like a connection there that I don't understand. And I like the Chronic. It's a great album.
Well, Snoop is cool. As Snoop's also very approachable. You see how divide Snoop crosses.
Yeah, true.
White people like Snoop.
Everybody likes Snoop.
You know what I mean? So he was in the Day Shift, that movie, which was hot garbage, but like it's still like it's Snoop with a minigun. Like there's, you know what I mean? Like that's kind of something you're like, I have to see that. I have to see Snoop with a minigun. So like, yeah, there was something, and Dre as well. Dre is very approachable to the hip hop outsider.
Yeah.
Because he raps slow, and this was also, I was introduced to Dre through Eminem.
Ah, so you were one of those.
Of course. I grew up in the suburbs. And no one was like letting me in on like any of these albums when they were cool. I didn't know. Although my buddy Lou was always into hip hop. He was the one who listened to like Nas. He had like The Firm. Like he was like really into shit. Yeah. Like I was just a white kid pretending like he was just genuinely a fan. I mean, I'm genuinely a fan too, but at the time I didn't. I was just, I'm exploring my identity. But yeah, that was an easy transition, because also the Chronic 2 has got it's got Eminem on it, right? Yep. So you're like, oh, I love this. This is great, and there were some amazing verses from Eminem on there.
It's an amazing album.
So of course the most logical step is to go listen to the first Chronic.
Yeah.
But it's like, and you're playing that in Caldwell, New Jersey, and it's like an N-word with a motherfucking gun is just blaring out of this 17-year-old douchebag's Mitsubishi Eclipse. You know what I mean? It's a rough look.
I'm still thinking about the marketing, because I heard so much about,
because I thought I looked cool too. I would ride with the one hand on the steering wheel, hat to the side.
Yes, it's awesome.
Baggy clothes, busting a sag,
I've seen young youth, and I can imagine that completely. Probably have like the Fila, or like a FUBU like jumpsuit or some shit.
That would be great. No, I didn't go. No, I it was half and half. Like I would have the hat to the side, but it would still have the curved brim.
So you get the dad hat to the side, basically. And
I would have like a baggy sweatshirt, but it would be like an Abercrombie sweatshirt.
Yes, that's even better.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to go all the way hood.
No, well that would have been too much. Like, I knew how like ridiculous, because when I saw like the the wigger kids in my high school, they looked stupid and trashy. I didn't realize I was also doing that, but like
You were more mature. You were more reserved than that.
I was aware enough to know that looked dumb, I guess. I don't know. I mean,
you knew where the limits were. You're like, okay, that's too far.
But I was thinking back on this. You ever see those memes where like all the girls have the exact same clothes on, or like all the guys have the exact same? Well, that was my friend group.
Yeah.
We all wore like baggy blue jeans, a hoodie, a baseball hat, and white like K-Swiss sneakers.
Yeah. Yeah. That's crazy.
All like it was like a uniform. I remember one day we all went to the garage, like where my buddy, like we would take our shoes off when we got into the house, go play Xbox or whatever, and then we'd walk out through the garage, and there was 3 pairs of the exact same shoes, like in a line.
That's kind of crazy. I mean, shit, not to go back into Con Theo, but that just really shows you how you can societally engineer. Like we all talk about like now, but I mean, you could look at any era from the 60s, everybody's gonna look the same. The 70s, everyone's gonna look the same. 80s, everyone's gonna look the same. 90s, 2000s, so on and so forth. That's a weird phenomenon.
Also, like, I was 17. Like, I didn't have like an individual identity yet.
I was 17.
You know, it was a very good year, but it wasn't like that. It was like, it was just I saw that on my friend. It looked cool. I went and bought it. Like, I didn't even think about how douchey it is that you would wear the same clothes as a best friend of yours. Like how, but everybody did that. Like that was what everyone did. Everyone just looked like there was groups. You could pick them out.
Yeah, yeah. You just kind of dressed what you thought was cool, and then it just meshed in with a friend group that usually had similar sensibilities.
Yeah, and there were like the kids who dressed hip hoppy, you know, that were white kids, but you know they kind of took some black bravado for themselves.
Yeah.
You know, then there were like the kind of like the richer girls who, you know, wore like nice clothes, and there were like the slutty chicks who wore like the, you know, spaghetti strap like shirts and you know what I mean? Like they just.
It's quick aside about the slutty chick. This is something that I thought about. How the slutty chick dressed back in that day is how every girl dresses now.
Bro, I remember there was one summer in LA. The girls have pretty much they pulled back on this, which I think was a good move. Where they were the ass cheek, the bottom of the ass cheek was hanging out of the shorts, and that was like that was not good for society.
No, neither was the drawless no panties but tight yoga pants gimmick. That was not good either.
Yeah, that's not good. But when you see the flesh, like that's
when the booty meats just live. That's not good. Because that taps into men's primal urge. It's like there's the ass there. It's right there.
Yeah,
you can't be doing that. Man.
I think women actually learned that one because that stopped pretty quick. That was just like a summer, but that turned me into a fucking animal. I'm like, you can't. This isn't good. I don't like how I feel walking around in public, seeing, you know what I mean, like a group of girls, and you get like quiet. You know what I mean?
Like perma rock hard, and you can't really control it.
That happened to I was working at this cheese shop, and it was me and 2 other dudes behind the counter, and this like group of girls who were like, you know, 18, and they all like came in wearing that, and the silence that came over the 3 of us, they felt it, we felt it. It was uncomfortable as fuck, but it's like it's not my fault. Like I'm wired to physically respond to that. Like they got uncomfortable and left, and it was just like, yeah, I felt like a creep, but I'm not. What am I supposed to do?
Yeah, listen. It's a free country. I'm a freedom advocate, liberty advocate. You're allowed to wear whatever you want to wear within reason. I think that's a little bit without reason, though, because when ass flesh is live, that's basically underwear. You know what I'm saying?
It's not good. It's not good. Like
yeah.
And it's also context, too. Like, if you're at the beach, you're mentally prepared for that. It's different. Everyone's kind of got their thing. When you're just in public and you just see some, like, delicious booty hanging out, and it's like...
Or not delicious, because there's that, too.
Well, yeah, then that happens a lot. Oof. That's still a thing.
Oh, I mean, shit. Remember the first time you saw a fat girl with a belly shirt intentionally? That threw me for a loop.
I still see chicks trying to do that. And what they'll do is they'll try to trick you. Like, I don't know, like, I don't see what you're doing. Well, they'll wear their pants higher, and they'll, like, really... And it's like, bitch, what do you think? I've never seen a girl's stomach before?
And you can kind of see the little, little gun thing through the pants.
I know what you're doing.
Or sometimes, they all sorts of gimmicks. That's another can of words for another day.
And, you know what's funny, too? Like, I've talked to girls about that shit. Like, I'm sure you have. I know your type. I'm sure you've come across this. You ever come across a girl with Spanx?
Yeah.
That's some of the most deceptive shit there is.
I'm laughing now at when you say I know you're tight because me and the fat girls. So
I knew you knew.
Like
I knew you
clearly, like if you like fat girls, there's no way you didn't come across.
There's
some
no
Spanx.
way.
That's the worst because there's this like mythical fat girl, right? The fat girl with a fat ass, big titties, but kind of flattish stomach. And Spanx gives you that myth, and then when it comes off, it's like, oh.
It's such a
I'm still
disappointment.
gonna hit because I'm here.
Yeah, but it's also like you're like, you lying hoe, and it's like kind of you're just like and then don't you feel like a chump? Don't you feel like I feel like like I feel embarrassed. Like I feel embarrassed that like I got tricked.
It almost feels like ordering something at a restaurant, not getting your full meal or some shit. I'm getting the wrong meal.
Yeah, or like I ordered from a picture and then I see the thing and I'm like, that doesn't matter. The picture. Yeah, where's the other half? What happened to the? Yeah, that's some. And if you bring that up to girls, they have no empathy for your like frustration with that. They don't. They're just like, what are you supposed to do? It's like I don't know, not lie. Like you know what I mean?
Girl,
like do your best, but
bash women again. It's just now so in the culture. I mean, makeup. The makeup tutorial era where all these 4s and 5s all like 6s and 7s. Then you got the filters. Then you got, like you said, Spanx, different little things. It's all this stuff. And that's not getting into surgeries, which is its own can of worms. There's so many different things to dress up women. And as each new technology comes out, it just becomes a part of the thing. So they're like, what, you don't want me to wear makeup? Because makeup's been around now 100 years. Spanx have now been around.
I want you to have a modicum of humility, you fucking whore. That's what I want. I want a modicum of humility from you. Is that possible?
Yes. No. No. I mean, some
That's
girls.
it. But just like, a little bit of humility, a little bit of humanity, a little bit of like, I'm not perfect. That's not ideal, but okay, like. You know, like neither is he. Like just some fucking human. No, it's like it's so deceptive, and it's like righteously. It's like
It's the market, man. Sexual market. She's got to keep her value as high as she possibly can keep it, so everything runs smoothly in her life. Evolutionary psychology.
Yeah. It's I don't know. It's just kind of like disappointing. You know what I mean? Like you just want to see just like a little character.
Yeah.
You know, or like, hey, just feel bad about it and realize that that's part of life. Is like you don't have everything you want. You can't be all the things you want to be. You know, you're not perfect. Just like a little genuine humility once in a while. You know, that would be just nice.
Listen. It is what it is. I mean, because especially with girls, I mean, that's never going to happen. Unfortunately, it's never going to happen. You kind of got to accept it, or just like that's why I'm still messing. Well, I haven't messed around with a girl in a minute, but I'm still semi-pro. I'm pro and con. I'm waving on the fat chicks. There's a lot of guys like no fat chicks, no, never, ever again, never, no more. And I understand that and respect it, because that's your way out of it. It's like, you know what, you're not in a certain size. I'm not even gonna rock with you. And it's like, okay, I respect it, because Lord knows girls think that way. For fuck's sake.
Oh yeah, the short guy thing, like.
Yep. Oh, you're only 5'7"? Ew.
They don't even look at you. They look like through you.
And we all know these girls built like Lizzo is not gonna fuck with old Vigilante Williamson. They want like the Ubermensch.
You see it in her videos. That's what they always have. These fucking like linebackers, dude.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like in their video, and you're just like, okay, but what, you can't do a fucking sit up once in a while, but he's gotta like, kill elk with his bare hand.
Yeah, not just be in solid shape. We're talking the muscles on top of muscles, 250 pounds, like less
statues,
than 10%.
Male statues, human statues.
Yeah, that's 10% body fat, like top tier percent. Probably less than 1% of humanity.
Those obliques that like hang over the hip bone. You know what I mean? Like they're just like gods, and like you can't even not. Like you can't even walk to your car. You know what I mean? Like, what is this world? And like, why would someone like him have to put up with someone like you? And you're supposed to, and you're like rah rah girl. Like, the delusion that like women have been cultivated to empower recently is disturbing, to say the least.
We did a whole episode on it last week. Basically, it's just
That's true. We can't just hate on bitches every week, but
yeah, especially because I love these hoes. I'm in my own little world with weight and women and relationships and shit. You made the joke about not walking. I've had leg issues this week.
For real?
That's been kind of like a thing where it's like, oh man, I got to get myself in shape. I
Yeah.
get my health better, not just in shape. I improve my health, and it's like,
do you stretch?
I don't do nothing. I don't do jack shit.
I mean, if you have like, let's say,
Yeah.
if you have like body issues, like a joint issue or like a back issue, like 9 times out of 10, it's some kind of muscle or tendon thing that you need to like just stretch out or kind of work out. Like I know it's tough, like when like physical fitness is a challenge, but it's one of those things where it's a great place to just start.
Okay.
Like it's huge. I gotta take my own advice too. Like my my neck and my back, it's been so like it hurts. Like honestly, like I went to the gym last week. I had to stop because everything was so tight and like my back that it just hurt. Everything just hurt. I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
But but you know what? It's my own. I'm not taking care of my health by like I'm not drinking enough water or I'm not getting enough sleep or I need to just take a day off from the gym and do fucking yoga or something. Like it's like. You just gotta serve your body, but you also have to like listen to like what it's telling you. You know, it's a whole thing. But I would say, yeah, if you're having like leg issues, man, just start with some like mild stretches.
Yeah.
Be
I think it has
surprised.
to do with weather because like I'm one of those people when it starts to rain, I just start getting pains all throughout my body.
Oh, okay.
And there's a lot of rain in Houston. At first I didn't realize, like, why is my leg hurting? And I'm like, oh, it's gonna be raining the next week.
Yeah, it could be like inflation,
Yeah.
like
Inflammation.
inflammation. That's what I meant. Yeah, inflammation.
Not Joe Biden. Fuck Joe Biden.
Not Joe Biden.
But yeah, inflammation. Yeah, something. I mean, it's a little bit better. I've been able to move a little bit better today. So I'm trying to clean after this. Depending on how much time I got before my next stream, I'm going to try to clean up a little bit because I haven't really been able to. But yeah, man. I've been thinking of to go off of this episode to end this episode. I've been really thinking about the whole relationship thing because, like I said, the whole MGTOW thing I think is a step too far. But then there is like this fear of being in relationships and like this. I think my eating habits are like not to go vigilante therapy to end the episode, but like I do think there's like something. I have something with weight and dating for some like.
Sure.
It's like I almost feel like I'm eating to protect myself from a heartbreak sort of thing.
You know,
On a deep subconscious level.
no, I get it. It's like you almost take yourself out of the game so you don't have to feel that failure again.
Yeah.
I get it, dude. Like I totally get it. Like I was texting a girl that like a friend hooked me up with, and part of it was just my own. Like I knew it was my own like just insecurities acting up, but part of it was also like sometimes girls text weird, and I don't know if it's like a test or something like that. But because of so many of the ways I've been blindsided by rejection from women, like things that I just never even considered, like sometimes now when I'm texting a girl, like the amount of anxiety I have about what to say or how to say it or like when to say it or like be myself or don't be myself, like all these things that just like run through my head, and the feeling of being assessed, like that kind of like,
Yeah, that's what I
know?
don't miss.
and I run through like the inventory of things like I'm insecure about, and then I feel like, oh, maybe it's that, and it's that anxiety, and then I almost like resent them, and like it's like a complex, it's like something I'm going through that she's barely participating in, but it's like it's happening to me because of just all the years of dating women and all the crazy shit that like I've gone through with women and like all these complexes that I've created. It's sometimes you just like, as much as like I want to get laid, like sometimes you just I just don't want to feel these things, so I'll just avoid it.
And that's where I've been the past. Really, this pandemic. Since this pandemic started, I haven't really dated at all. And I'm like, I'm nervous to even try again. I want to lose some weight before I try again. And then I don't even think about it for all those reasons you just explained. It's like it's such a anxious. I don't want to deal with rejection. I also don't want to deal with getting into an intimate relationship. I'm just as much afraid of success as I am, or success as I am rejection. Getting into an intimate relationship for some time and then it failing, I have a fear of that. I don't want to get another,
I understand. I empathize completely, man. Like it's
totally there.
And it's like I forget it's there until like I start trying again, and then all like this well of insecurities comes out, and I'm just like, oh right, and it sucks, and it's like, and I really do think, as much as like we talk, I do think it's exacerbated by all the kind of like SJW, like men are bad shit. Like I think like when you have all this pain associated with just wanting to be with the opposite sex, and like not subjugate them, not dominate them, just wanted to be with them. And then, so you have that pain. And then on top of it, you have these fucking chicks like with these arrogant takes and these condescending, like views. And they yell it at you with no apprehension about their safety or anything like that. It makes you fucking really resentful and pretty crazy and angry. It's as much as I do bitch about it, just I don't like hearing it. It's like, man, it really does like fuck with me as a person.
Yeah, this war on men shit is like, man, it does mess up. It has a base level way of messing up how you view the opposite gender for shit that individual person probably didn't even do or say, but just the energy of everything being like
the whole thing.
Yeah, because what it is every element of masculinity is wrong. Every single one.
Right.
And listen, there are some terrible men out there. Like, much as we talk about women, they're horrible men. You hear horror stories, they're shitty dudes, and you deserve to shit on them. They need to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, all that. But that's not every man. That's not all of men all the time, always. And it's just like, man, it's getting really, like I said before, they're treating men like they're defective women. And it's like, that anxiety is a whole new layer to everything that's going on. Plus the social media aspect. It's like.
Plus, I also see what's frustrating to me, and that's got nothing to do with them. It's just something that's personally frustrating. I think it's frustrating for a lot of people. It's just like also seems to be guys who are like oblivious to all of it and don't even seem to, like, you know what I mean? You're just like,
you don't see this is happening.
And also, I'm almost just more like get like jealous. I'm like, you don't get weighed down by all this bullshit. Like you don't even, it just flies right past you. Like, fuck, what's wrong with me? You know what I mean? Like, and that contributes to the whole thing. It's just like, it's frustrating. I had a thought when I was like scrolling through 9gag or whatever, and it was like, we talk about like kids like simping and not kids, but I mean like, young men like simping for chicks and the kind of like, the way it's sort of shameless, like the way they kind of, and I think about my struggles, and our conversations about like women and stuff like that. But then I think about guys who are like, they feel so low on the status totem pole. Not only are they apprehensive about the rejection and stuff like that, they'll never try. Like they'll literally believe there's absolutely no reason for them to even try. So then that does become like the supplemental relationship is actually the online girlfriend thing. Like is there experiences that hit me, and I was like,
that's the incel, right? Like, okay, I'm never going to ever date, and so this OnlyFans, that's why Twitch exists, why OnlyFans exists. This OnlyFans girl and this experience is my girlfriend.
That's the best I'm ever
gonna get.
And it's like it's and then you know what I mean? Like you think about that, like when a guy comes to grips with that and doesn't seek help or doesn't seek growth, or also just hears all the negative messages about men in the world, like it's not that shocking a kid puts a gun in his mouth.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's really not. Like if you think about that, like if you feel hope, like I don't care what these feminists and people say about relationships, and it's just like, oh, you just think of women as sexual? Yes, or there is some reason why like the sex dynamic is a big part of what women are. Yes, it is a huge thing. You don't get to just throw that away. And so it's like when you take that kind of, you put that on a man and then you make him feel guilty on top of the fact that he's just like alone and isolated, has no one. And it's just like, I see how it happens. Yeah.
And I mean, societally, we used to informally encourage more relationships. And listen, it's natural that all girls want the top guy, but like they didn't get them. You know what I mean? Right. It wasn't like an Instagram where like there are 400-pound women who are fucking like these ubermensch type dudes because it might be an ubermensch with a fetish. So that one guy, he might fuck 100 fat bitches. You know what I'm saying? So now there's 100 normal fat bitches who would have went with a normal fat guy 50, 60 years ago. They're like, shit, maybe I can get an ubermensch. Maybe I can get him. And so they're not going to fuck and then that one guy, he's dejected. He's the guy you just mentioned. He's like, I'm never going to date anybody. So I'm just going to OnlyFans it until I fall out or in myself. And so you have this weird dating dynamic that is on top of everything. It's like we're not pair bonding to our level, so to speak.
Right. And there's another thing too that I thought, and I was like, oh shit, that's something. I didn't even think about that, because it's like you think about the guys, especially like in a city like Austin, Los Angeles, or whatever. Like the top guys are really they're making out. You know what I mean? Like the dudes with like a good amount of money or like, you know, some kind of status or whatever. Like they tend to be the ones that like they fuck, right? And they, you know, not every girl you bag is a 9, even if you're one of those guys. So, you know, like a 7, a 6, it's like, all right, you know, whatever.
5 sometimes if she cute and does it.
Well,
like,
for us, but I'm saying if you're like at the top, you're generally not fucking a 5 unless you're like some kind of degenerate. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to. You know, you don't.
Some guys are degenerates, dude.
Okay, but my point is this: imagine the guys who don't, right? Just think of like the guys who don't, right? Well, when they're scooping up like the 6s and 7s just cause or whatever that day, those girls now have the impression that that's the kind of guy that they can get. You know what I mean? And it's just like, no, you were just a sex for him. You're not going to be his wife. You know, it's like you were just a fun for that night, but they're not like being aware of that. That's like why I was kind of getting mad about the humility. It's like, just have humility for the fact that you were just a fuck that night. Like it's not a big deal, but like then it does become like these unrealistic standards amongst like the populace in general.
Because a lot of those 6 and 7, I would go lower because it goes lower. Like, so maybe the guy at next level down, he'll go to the next level down with a girl. The principle still remains that girls can fuck up. And when they do fuck up, not mean fuck up, but fuck up words. Yeah. They tend to, that's what I was trying to get at. They tend to have a delusional expectation for who they can actually marry.
Like, wife up. Yeah.
Like, oh, this celebrity, this rapper, or this movie star, or this athlete, the 12th guy on the end of the bench of the Texans saw me at the club and fucked me.
Yep.
Oh, wait, God. Wait down. Do not take that out of fucking context. But, you know, a woman has sex with that guy, and now she thinks she can get that level of guy. She may never see him again. I think she's not going to fuck people on her level or even be in relationships with people on her level because of it.
I think that's like the LA syndrome to a T.
Yeah.
Like, I think these girls, you know, they get off the boat, some, you know, C-list celebrity or whatever is just like, you know, oh, you, of course, and then bang them, and then the girl, like, thinks she's a celebrity now, and then, like, any normal dude is, like, a fucking loser to them, because it's like, oh, I roll with celebrities. It's like, I mean, you know, as a pocket pussy, maybe you're not gonna marry this motherfucker. Like, but it's, you know, it's like the that's kind of like that arrogant thing that like this generation of women that were around. It's like impenetrable. It's like until it's too fucking late.
But I mean, again, that's why I hate to keep sounding like an old man yelling at a cloud. I really think social media has a lot to blame because you couldn't really fuck that C-list celebrity. Like, you don't have to go to LA and get off the boat to fuck a C-list celebrity if you're a moderately good looking chick.
That's
all
true.
You need to do is slide in the DMs and you might get lucky.
Yeah, it's true, man. Like, especially if you think about like the amount of like traveling like comedians or athletes, if they go to like any city, you know, like, I mean, how many 10s you think are in Cleveland? Can't be that many. You know what I mean? So it's just like, if you're any kind of hot chick with like a relatively prominent Instagram profile, like, you know, like the Cavaliers, like assistants are like, you know, trolling that and getting you to come to parties and shit like that. And it's like, of course they should. Those guys, I mean, I don't blame them for doing it. I don't blame any of those guys who, you know, do it. Why not? Well, I would do it. But it's like, what that's doing to these girls' heads is making them think that they're all like on that level. And it's like, no, you're just a girl. Like, they don't look at you on that level. You're not on that level. You don't bring even enough to be on that level. But it's like that it's like that cognitive dissonance that's like seems impenetrable to me.
Yeah, but I mean, I think I'm not gonna I'm gonna not it's like simp, but I'll be sort of respectful to that dynamic woman. Like, we had never experienced anything like this before.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I probably
You know
would
what I
be
mean?
completely up my own ass. Like if I like got early success in Hollywood or something like that, or I was like cruising around with some, I don't know. But guys don't look at girls' status. They don't give a
True,
shit. We
but
don't care.
peasants, peasant bitches couldn't fuck kings back in the day. You just wouldn't. It would never happen. Like you never, ever. It would never enter your mind that it could.
Well, I think it's not. I don't know if that's the best analogy because like
That sounds
culture
harsh,
is so
but-
different. But I'd say like if you just look back at like the 70s, like
Okay.
the idea of like the average chick from like even just an average city like sleeping with like even like a rock star was really it's out there. Like it happened, but it wasn't common. But I think like there's just so many more. There's so many like people's status is so
There's
much more.
YouTubers getting it in.
That's what I'm saying. There's so much more prominent status that's visible in society, which I guess that just is what it is. But it's like I don't know. That's I mean, it really comes back to I just think like some goddamn humility in these broads. You know what I mean? Just a little bit. But what am I gonna fix all this problem? Plus, I'm tired of talking about it.
Yeah, and it's getting late.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just modern life. The modern culture that we must crime fight and continue. It's deeper than rap. It's no longer just these wokies in Hollywood. It's the entire culture at large. And just kind of exploring. That's what we do on the show. Or we appreciate you guys joining us and still rocking with us each week. And appreciate any new people because we're actually in the cocktail lounge. Quite a few new people came over from FNT because they've been, really embracing us as like a lead in, like the follow up show.
Yeah, which is really cool.
Really cool. So thank you all for being here, man. Thank you for joining us on this crazy trip. Talked about your Vegas trip. Talked about music. Talked about
How
women.
corny I used to be. Yeah.
Yeah. How corny we both were. I told you about the hipster shit.
Yeah, that's true. That's funny. Hipster bitch. God damn.
Hipsterlante
shit.
Williamson.
Yeah.
All
I should get the Legion of Memers on that.
Yeah.
I'd like to see hipster bitch.
See, I didn't take many pictures when I was young, though. I'm like, it's not that many pictures. I used to hate. You talk about self-esteem issues. I just always hated taking pictures. Which is just sound. But on that weird, awkward note, it is time to end. So, if you like the video, please like the video. If you're so obliged to share, subscribe, please do that. And even if you do none of these things, thank you for watching. Thank you for your time. Good night and God bless. Please sub to not just me, but obviously Foulball and Foulball Food and Drink. And we will talk to you guys later. Peace.
See you all.